And away we go. It is the BCJ Podcast right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by our good friends at the Holy Grail. We are live from the Cincy Light studios, and we are rocking and ready to go. Go see our good friends at the Holy Grail. Baseball season is winding down. Only a couple Reds home games left. So get down to the bank, stop by the Holy Grail, have yourself an ice-cold Cincy Light. Remember, 50 cents from every Cincy Light purchased at the Holy Grail is donated back to the University of Cincinnati to support the athletes that entertain you on the field of play. Go support those that support us, and more importantly, those that support the University of Cincinnati, and make a trip to the Holy Grail. All right, David, let's get this show on the road. How the heck you doing, buddy?
I'm here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Been a fun day dealing with banks and,
Yeah, I bet. No one ever said, "Oh, what'd you do today?" I had a great time on the phone with my bank.
Well, actually, like my interaction with Fifth Third today was outstanding. I needed something from them. I stopped by the branch. I think I was there 4 minutes, and they got me taken care of. I was out the door. It's this company that does all the business stuff that I'm ready to punt from here to 3 out of the past 4 months. They've had bugs.
Yeah.
Well, we're having a bug. Yeah, well, I'm having conversations with other companies to replace you.
Yep.
My goodness. Running a business is a pain in the ass, Dave.
Seems like it.
But yeah, things are pretty good. Just had a little dinner. I got a tip for you, Dave.
Okay.
Ben and Jerry's. I know you're probably not a Ben and Jerry's guy these days.
Ever. But I mean, you grow up in Cincinnati, you eat one ice cream.
I know, but they have a new, it's called like the Sunday series.
Okay.
And they have this like frozen whipped cream at the top of it that is outstanding.
I'll take your word for it.
It's really good. So I had a little bit of that before we got started tonight. But other than that, just rocking and rolling. No volleyball games this week. So it's been
there you go. That's good.
It's been very pleasant not having to do volleyball games all week. But that changes next week and for the next like 6 weeks after that. So it's homecoming week here. I don't have to really deal with homecoming because of the game on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's get into it. We will start the show off and talk a little bit about Nebraska and then get into Bowling Green. These segments brought to you by Home Field. Go see our good friends at Home Field Apparel. They have the Platinum Box that's still going. They've got the new UC Heavyweight hoodie. They also have a new crew neck, the red crew neck that's got the black around the bottom that I think is very, very sharp if you're a crew neck person. More of a hoodie guy myself, but really like the new crew neck. So go to homefieldapparel.com, look up Cincinnati, check out the Cincinnati collection. They have a lot of great stuff, a lot of great options, and far and away the leader in vintage logo apparel for the Cincinnati Bearcats. I have pretty much everything: hoodies, joggers, quarter zips, T-shirts, you name it. I've got it from Home Field, and I can't recommend it enough. So homefieldapparel.com and get to shopping. All right, Dave, let's put a bow on Nebraska, and we don't need to talk much about the game per se, but I will ask you. I said last week, if Cincinnati loses this game, there will be a lot of people with very strong reactions to it, one way or the other. You said you would not be in that camp. I will argue, I've seen you have some fairly strong reactions to the result of game number 1 over the past week. So would you walk back your stance from 1 week ago a little bit, considering what we saw at Arrowhead Stadium?
No, I will not.
Okay.
The reason being, my take in that regard was that it didn't, or I should say, the way that I was thinking of it was if they just lost the game, the loss in and of itself would not make me do that. And this is 95% an offensive take. Losing the game because your offense looked basically exactly the same as it did for the last 7 weeks of last year is why I was frustrated. Because all we were told all offseason was things such as we really talked about discipline. We have to be a more disciplined team. And we commit 4 false start penalties and 2 turnovers. We talked a lot. We got told a lot, and there was a lot of talk about how this is the fastest, deepest team that we've had in the last 3 years. And we'll get into it probably a little bit down the road here, but you throw for 69 yards, your longest completion is 14. I mean, it's not all in the receivers and again, we'll get into that, but like they can't, I guess they're not that fast. And so it was just, some of the play calling things that we've talked about. I mean, you guys have talked about it. We talked about it on Sunday. The whole East-West thing, the slow developing screens where I'm going to look over here and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to throw it over here. The fact that Joe Royer had more yards after the catch than total yards and apparently he was being double teamed. Well, shouldn't that mean that somebody else is open?
Yeah.
Like if your tight end that is working the majority of the time in the middle of the field is occupying 2 defenders, shouldn't somebody else then be winning? Here's a fun stat we'll kick off the day with. UC is currently 17th in yards per carry in the country, at whatever it ended up being. There are 3 teams that played FBS opponents that had a higher yards per carry average. Texas State played Eastern Michigan. TCU did what they did to North Carolina's defense. And Georgia Tech and really Haynes King specifically ran all over Colorado. I don't think any of those teams' defenses are in the same stratosphere as Nebraska's. Maybe they will be. Maybe they will be by the end of the year, but on Saturday they certainly were not.
I'll argue I was not overly impressed with Nebraska's front 6 or 7 or whatever it was.
You're making my point for me that of those 17 teams, regardless of whether if it was against an FBS or an FCS team, only Texas Tech ran the ball fewer times than UC, and it was 29 versus 30. So we have this continuation of, not leaning in hard enough or going away from what's working. I mean, like, if I got to ask Scott Satterfield one question right now, I would ask him, why are you so against being big and ugly and nasty?
For a guy whose MO is, as an offensive coordinator, they've always ran the ball well. His teams have always been
Florida State ran it 49 times for 200-something yards against Alabama. Thomas Castellanos threw the ball 14 times. Now, he was able to throw it for 10 yards a attempt, primarily because they ran the ball so much, and it was only 4.7 yards a carry, but it was so efficient and so effective that it made his routes and route concepts easy to throw. Gus Malzahn, for all the joking we've done about TCU, I think he ran the same play like 7 times in a row. It was like, you guys, I mean, I don't want to come on here and be like, I told you so, but like, what did I open up Wednesday night with?
Yeah, I've wanted to talk to you about this. I'm curious. They ran the ball well in the first quarter. The first 2 drives of the second quarter, the first play of the first drive in the second quarter, they ran it for 1 yard. The second, and then they passed twice. So one was a screen and one was a pass. Then the second drive of the second quarter, they ran it one time for 1 yard. And then they passed, and then there was a false start on Gerhardt, 3rd and 14. Then they passed again, and they punted. Yeah. But it was almost like they were like, "Oh, well, I guess Nebraska fixed the run defense
because they stopped one run for
They stopped 2 runs for 2 yards." And but did that feel like that to you? It was almost like they were like, "Okay, well,
even like going from the first quarter to the second quarter, like you ran it pretty well in the first quarter."
What I said.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, and then it was just like, okay, we're done with that for a quarter, and then
but they got stopped on those 2 runs, and then they just abandoned it for the rest of the half. They were like, okay, well, I guess they fixed their run defense, and now we're gonna. I don't
want to be like super nitpicky of it, and yeah, I mean, do I have a problem? Do I have a problem calling a pass play on 2nd and 9? Of course not. Or I'm not saying you should run the ball on 3rd and 14 after a penalty or whatever. But like, it's just like I was to the point going into the game like being a little bit joking of like run it every play until they show you can stop them. I mean, I know that is being a bit facetious, but the point I was trying to make was of everything on Nebraska's entire team, offense or defense, I felt the biggest vulnerability that coincided with our maybe biggest strength was what I thought our rush offense could be versus their defensive front. And then to only get 12 carries from your 2 backs and 30 carries total or whatever the number. I mean, I think Sorsby and the 2 backs ended up having, they had 12. Sorsby had 9.
Or 9, so 21.
Or 13 or 9 or something. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but like I think it was 25 maybe total. So like to me, that number, and I'm not saying like, yeah, they ran so few plays because like you guys talked about, it was either a somewhat sustained drive or a 3 and out.
4 3 and outs out of 9 drives.
It just I don't mean, and part of like the press conference yesterday, I don't want to make too big of a point of this, but something that Scott said kind of spooked me a little bit in that talking about all the screens, he talked about poor execution.
I will defend him on this. He's right.
He is right. Evan Pryor catch that ball. The one where they didn't block 3 guys, missed the guy. Okay, I get that. But to me, that just tells me like we're going to keep running this stuff and I'm just going to they need to clean it up, and not the fact of like the sideways stuff and the screen stuff. It should be in the offense. Like it shouldn't be 20% of your dropbacks.
Yeah, but I mean, look, man, 2 of those were set up what should have been beautifully. And the third one was a referendum on why you don't play Manny Covey and Chance Williams in those scenarios. Did you see the video on that one?
No, I don't think so.
They set up a middle screen for Covey.
Oh, and he just like ran up the seam or whatever.
He just ran straight up the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And like Sorsby's doing like the pedal to, do the little float pass, and Covey's 17 yards down the field.
I get it, but like maybe it's just me. Like I don't love that type of play. Like I don't feel like the defenses that they're going to play, the old backpedal, floated over the guy. Running back has to wait to catch it, then turn around. Like if you want to run a screen, like get the guy out to the side, get him the ball, and get him turned up field and run.
Like and they did that twice.
The one to Tyree Walker that was like a 4-yard loss, he had to like one hand.
Yeah, it was a terrible throw.
Jump up to get it because it's floating and he's waiting for it, and then I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, it just kind of goes back to I don't know, and this is a thing that we've talked about. I feel like the whole time, 3 years. What is the identity of this offense?
Yeah.
It feels like it tries to dabble in a little bit of everything instead of being really good at something and using that something to then set up the other elements of the offense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the screen stuff, I was more upset with it live than I was once you started watching back on some of it.
I don't like the look one way, throw the other for 1 yard to Royer.
I don't like that play.
Like the actual screens to the running backs, those are defensible because like there was execution errors, and I mean Evan Pryor just catch the ball, he might have scored. Like I'm not criticizing that. Like you're in the game, you're a running back, you've had the ball thrown to you plenty of times, catch the ball and run.
If one of the linemen get their head around
right
to the linebacker, that play was set up for, if they block that linebacker, he might have been able to run back to Cincinnati.
After that. I don't understand Joe Royer on the short side of the field, looking the opposite direction and then having him dip out for 1 yard and think that there's enough room or time for that to work at all.
But what I will say on that is I do think like that I don't like that play call. I don't like I don't love that. But I think we were impacted by how many times are they going to do this and it's not going to work? And then you go back and you watch the play and it actually it should have been
why successful. It didn't work was it wasn't like that Nebraska was
snipping it out
immediately. Sure.
Yeah. Like we saw, like to go back to like Georgia and Alabama, they tried to play a little East-West in those games. And like, it was like, no, those guys are way faster than your guys. Let's not do any of this. This isn't going to work.
I think it just kind of goes to my overarching theme of like, if I'm going to call those 5 plays versus 3 runs and 2 more conventional passes, let's do that.
Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing.
Right.
I'm just saying like, I was annoyed at the time because it felt like there was too much East-West. But then when you actually like break it down, you're like, well, a bunch of the East-West shit should have worked. So I'm not as mad about it. I would like to. That Royer play didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I guess.
Here's the other thing that annoys me, Dave. This is now twice in 2 years. We have heard them say before the game and talk up how great the other team's secondary was, and then essentially just decide they weren't going to test them.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State last year, Nebraska this year. The Iowa State secondary last year was outstanding. I don't know where this Nebraska secondary is going to stack up, especially I don't think their front seven was a lot to write home about. So that secondary is going to have to hold up against probably a lot of pressure as the season goes on and they start putting more things on tape. I think teams are going to figure out how to attack that secondary a little bit more. But this is twice now. Once last year, once this year, where the message was kind of, we're not really going to mess with these dudes. And that's not a way to win a football game.
Well, it's not. And it goes into my frustration just with the passing game in general of like, we don't see Sorsby have very many easy throws. He's a big, physical, fast quarterback that everybody that is scouting him is worried about his running ability. How many times do we see him outside the pocket throwing the ball, like to the sides?
We saw it in the last drive, right?
I mean, get him on the move. Get him an easy out route to somebody. Like, protect, because I thought for the most part, like there was one play that I've uncovered today that I'm trying to like play it out in my head. It was in the first quarter, 5:39 left. We have it inside their like 40-yard line, and he drops back, and I think Cyrus Allen, like, he's got the dude beat for it's a touchdown. And he doesn't even look at him from the slot. And both tackles do get kind of beat. So I'm trying to be fair and saying, like, did they get beat too quick? And he and he tucked it and ran. But at the same time, I'm like, did he have to actually tuck it and run? Could he have just stepped up in the pocket and kept his eyes down? Like,
I hate doing that stuff though.
I do too. But I'm just saying, like, you have a situation like that. You have the one you guys talked about on Monday. Like Brent talked about how the defender covering Royer just fell down. There was one on the broadcast that the color commentator talked about, like, he just missed Cyrus Allen kind of on a wheel route or down the sideline. We had underthrown deep/pseudo deep balls all game. We don't need to relitigate the interception, but I mean, there was clearly something there. Like, where are we just in the confidence of the play calling when it comes to the quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's kind of interesting to me, Dave, is I think we are at a point where it is pretty established that Sorsby is kind of a hot and cold guy. And you need to find him a rhythm. And then when he gets in rhythm, he can be pretty good. But when he is cold, I don't think they do a whole lot to help him.
Well, that's the thing. It's like they give him these throws at the beginnings of games that are anti to getting into a rhythm.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard, I thought the offensive line did a perfectly fine job. Like, I could not, outside that one play that I just talked about, like, I could not single out specific times where I'm like, he couldn't throw the ball because he got the snap and basically was under pressure instantly.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of pressure.
Last year, I didn't think the offensive line was great in pass protection, and it was probably even harder towards the end of the year because teams knew they weren't going to be able to pass, or they were having trouble passing. But, like, there still weren't egregious times throughout an entire game where it was like Sorsby is just under pressure the entire time. So, like, I can't pin this on the offensive line. I mean, there's obviously moments here and there.
They're not going to win every all 5 positions every rep.
And then last year, the theme the whole time was these receivers just can't get open. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that. You and I both said it on multiple occasions. Now we got a whole brand new receivers. And like you said, like, if a team just has good DBs, or we're just throwing that element of the game out, we have no way to throw the ball. So I'm kind of like getting to the point where I'm like, the quarterback, we keep not excuses, but we keep having all these reasons why the passing game is not functioning. And I'm just starting to wonder, like, where does the quarterback fall into all this? And typically the quarterback is looked at to be an elevator of talent. Like, the quarterback is good, and so he makes the wide receivers good, even if they're not super separators or, great run after the catch. The quarterback is putting the ball in great spots for them. The offensive line, they're okay, but they're not all world. But that's okay because the quarterback is a great diagnoser of plays and has great anticipation and can, we saw it almost every game in Cincinnati last year, like Joe Burrow covering up for his offensive line issues.
Yeah.
We talk about route concepts and stuff, and I just don't know what they are, because is it because the quarterback is not able to get off of a first read? Or if the first read is not there, it's an instant eyes down, tuck and run situation. So, like, and we're not,
I don't feel like he did that early. I do feel like maybe late.
Yeah. One game, one data point, small sample size, but that's the only data point and sample size we have to go off of.
Right. And we're not going to learn anything the next 2 weeks.
No. And when you look at the numbers, again,
we can if it's bad.
Right. Totally different offensive line, totally different receivers, totally different teams. But we now have a 6-game, half a season segment of Brendan Sorsby quarterback play. 58% completion percentage, 5.2 or 159 yards per game, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 5.24 yards per attempt. That number, again, 6 games, not full year, different players, all that. Everyone understand this when I say this. This is just for comparison so you can understand what I'm getting at. 5.24 yards per attempt would be dead last in qualifying quarterbacks in 2020, in all of 2024, by 1.5 yards.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way to slice it. Like, it's not good quarterback play.
It's not even that it's not good enough. It's not good.
No. He had one game over 200. He's had one game over 200 yards passing in the last 6, and 2 games under 70.
It's not great, Bob.
No. So
he has to play better.
All of these elements are contributing to the issue, but like I now have to watch way more Sorsby to see if I see things differently than maybe I thought I had seen them over the last 6. And were we casting too much blame on different other elements of the offense? And sure, if guys can't get open, that sure makes it hard for a quarterback. And if you can't protect, that sure makes it hard for a quarterback. And if the defense knows you're not a great throwing team and you're in 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 6 all the time because you're running up against 6, 7, 8 men boxes, it sure makes it hard for the quarterback. But this quarterback, I have a feeling, was enticed to stay at UC for a lot of different reasons. He's got to elevate. He's got to take those situations and go, I'm going to be the reason that we buck this trend. I'm going to be the reason that we get this passing game going. It can't be an Andy Dalton situation where, like, if everything around Andy was good, then he could be a really good quarterback. He probably would have won the MVP the year he broke his thumb because everything around him was perfect. The offensive line was really good. The weapons were really good. No one was hurt. The defense, like, in college football, you're not going to win enough games if you need everything around your quarterback to be perfect. They have to be an elevator of everybody else.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And I think some of this, Dave, is because we watched him the first 7 games last year be good. Like, solid quarterback play through the first 7 games last year. And then the wheels come off. And then it rolls over into game 1 of this year. And, like, significantly. I mean, a bunch of those yards, 69 yards, were on the last drive.
Half of them were. So, going into that last drive, it was even worse than. Here's my thing about that, Chad. The easy access throws to Cyrus Allen on the last drive. Where the fuck were those in the first 3 quarters?
Yeah, and Drew brings up an interesting point that I've thought about. Seems to get into a better rhythm playing with pace. Can this team play at pace for more of the game? Enough dudes for that? I think there is. I don't know if they're willing to. I don't know if that's the type of game they want to play. But look, you got multiple backs. Like, you've got, I think, 3 pretty good wide receivers starting. I think you got in Isaiah Johnson and Noah Jennings, a couple guys behind them that can play. Like, maybe it does need they need to pick up the tempo a little bit more.
I've always thought if you have a quarterback that's a true running threat, you should play with pace. Because I'm not saying they have a designated spy for him, but like if you play with pace and you are not subbing very frequently, it makes it very hard for the defense to get aligned and be ready to handle a run to Tywee or a Sorsby run versus a quick hitch or a quick out or any like. You don't have to run the no huddle, hurry up, air raid, breakneck pace, but like, let's play with some tempo. So, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. I mean, we're 3 years in. How many times do you remember them going? Like
enough that we've asked, should they play with more tempo more than once? Because when they have done it, it seems like it's picked up the productivity of the offense.
Yeah.
Matt says, will that be the best secondary we play this year? Maybe.
I mean, I would say it'd be in the Iowa State's is still going to be good. I mean, just trying to rattle off through my brain of teams that they play. UCF won't be better than Nebraska or Iowa State. Oklahoma State won't be. Baylor won't be. Arizona probably isn't. BYU maybe is in that group. TCU, Bud Clark's really damn good. They're going to be in that group. But, like, none of them are like, holy shit, this one's even better than Nebraska's was. I mean, there's probably three or four that are going to jockey for that type of role. But, like, my concern is that I don't think they played that many great secondaries in the back half of last year, and we still couldn't throw the ball.
Right. They played Iowa State, and it was a complete massacre of UC's passing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the maybe one of the more frustrating things is I felt good about the pass defense. Like, yeah, I know people get frustrated that they're playing off on third down. That's the defense. Like, it is.
Those are also things that, like, are not systemic. Like, you got new corners, you got new safeties, first game, the receivers for the other team are all new. Like, that is something that, like, if we're still talking about that on third down and 5 in week 7, then I'm going to feel the same way I feel about the passing offense. Like, that little change or fix can very easily be made in 1 week. Like, we're going to play a little bit more man, maybe, or if we are going to play the zone like that and we're going to play off, we're not going to also – I felt like they played off – like Logan played off, but then he would also bail. And I'm like, why – like, he'd be, like, out of the screen on 3rd and 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand playing off in zone to the field side, but, like, you don't need to bail also. Just way too much space on some of those throws, especially on third down. I mean, they went 10 for 17, and I
thought they got better late. Like, they were a little bit more aggressive with it late, but I also saw a couple throws that Raiola could have made quick that he didn't make that he was making early. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a slant from the slot that, I mean, they had probably 15-yard gain if he just throws the ball. Mm-hmm. And Raiola never processed to that spot.
Right.
But it was third down. They were playing off. The guy makes a quick slant, cuts in front of the DB's face. Raiola doesn't throw the ball. Like, I think they got off the field on that. And you make the best of it. But I thought the pass defense was, for the most part, pretty good. Thought the run defense, for the most part, was pretty good. I thought the running game was, for the most part, pretty good. I thought special teams was, for the most part, really good.
Yeah.
It's passing offense. And, college football 2025. Can't pass, can't win. Like, that's ultimately what we all walk away from that game saying. College football 2025. You can't pass, you can't win.
Just use your quarterback and your 2 running backs and turn it into the triple, which I'm not against because I love the triple, especially if you have a quarterback running it like Sorsby.
Yeah, we're not doing that. The season has begun, Dave. They're not moving to the triple.
I know. Right.
But I mean, I think that's the frustrating part is I think we could have lived with every other phase of the game and walked out of that feeling pretty good. But the passing game was so anemic, so bad for so much of that game that until they had a chance to win, it never felt like they truly had a chance to win. Does that make sense?
I mean, yes, we're in game 1 of year 3, and if you asked what is the major culprit for the lack of success over the entire span, the number one thing, I would say the passing offense.
Yeah.
We now have an offense, if you take out the FCS games, it's 23 games, The offense is averaging 21.91 points per game. They have 2 games out of 23 where they scored 30 or more, and 9 games out of 23 where they scored 20 or less. And like I said, unless you're going to be in a service academy and run it 50 times a game, you're not going to just start scoring a bunch of points if you can't pass the ball.
Yeah. Like, not enough explosive plays. Well, yeah, that's because you can't pass the ball.
Explosive plays come in the passing game.
Right. You can't wait for the 1 or 2 times a game you might break a big run.
And explosive plays come in the running game because you've passed it successfully, and the back 7 is maybe taking a step or 2 back because they're worried about giving up another 40-yard pass over their head. It's very hard to get explosive runs when everybody's first step is up because they're not worried about you throwing it over their head.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not going to feel any better about it. They might throw for 530 yards this week against Bowling Green. And I would still be like, great. It's good to see it, but I need to see it against teams that matter. I need to see 240, 250 yards again. And I was on the low end, Dave. Like, I thought if Sorsby had a good game, I thought like 215, 220 against that Nebraska defense, run the ball, make a couple, 30, 40-yard throws, 30, 40-yard plays in the passing game.
Yeah.
To keep them a little bit honest. I did not think, because their secondary is good, I did not think at any point, like, okay, Cincinnati needs 300 yards passing to win this game. The crazy part is they almost won it with under 100.
That to me is why it's so frustrating. The end of last year and this year is so frustrating. You're losing games not because you're just in a shootout and the other team is just happens to score more points, or you make a costly turnover and you still had the West Virginia game sticks out. He didn't play terrible in the West Virginia game outside of the couple plays where he went cuckoo.
Right.
279 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Then you have the fumbles and whatever. But so you're losing games that are close games and winnable games because the one major element of your team is absolutely anemic.
Yeah. I mean, and at least last year we had other things to point to.
Right.
The turnovers. I'm not overly upset with the 2 turnovers. One, Sorsby can't put that ball on Goody in that spot, in that place. Like at that location on the field, you are setting your wide receiver up for failure right there. Like, I think that's on your quarterback to not throw that pass.
I'm a huge fan of the 2-minute drill shallow crosser from your own 15-yard line.
With a linebacker just standing there waiting.
That you're running into.
Yeah. That one completely avoidable. The last play we've dissected a million times. Yeah, I give a ton of credit to Nebraska for that play call and that execution. They baited him and it worked. Like as Satterfield said, Sorsby saw him as he was letting the ball go.
Yeah. And at the same time too, like, that didn't have to be where the ball went. He had protection and there was another guy open.
Yeah, but if truly Sorsby read cover 1, saw Goody make the double move and he's running wide open down the sideline, and you let it go, all of that, I think Nebraska won. The guy made an incredible
He
catch.
did. And I'm not discrediting that. My point is, like, if you see that and that's where you're going to go with it, great. I'm fine with it. Like, I came on Sunday morning, like, I've made jokes that I wouldn't even have kickers.
He's playing for 3.
So I'm not playing for 3.
Yeah.
But if you see that and that's where you're going to go, then get the ball deeper.
Yeah. But he also, you know what you don't want to do in that situation? Fucking overthrow a wide open guy.
I'm fine with overthrowing him because it's still 2nd and 10 from the 33.
Yeah, but we're going to crush him.
No, it's a shot play. I mean, you take the shot, you make it, you don't. Like,
but my point is, the UC turnovers were not egregious.
No, it wasn't like he threw it right into the chest of a dropping linebacker.
Right.
Running backs were dropping the ball left and right, fumbling. No. I mean,
But the problem is Monte Wheaton not falling on the ball or not securing that football. There were 5 Bearcats over there. There was 1 Nebraska Cornhusker who was laying on the ground, and somehow they managed to shove the ball back to the guy, the only guy from Nebraska. Like, for all I care at that point in time, smack it and let it bounce down the field. But don't do the one thing that a Nebraska could recover. And Logan Wilson
even if it got kicked, they went out of bounds, or someone else from Nebraska recovered it, then they wouldn't have been in field goal range at that point.
Right. And Logan Wilson has to catch that football.
Has to. I mean, and these are the things that I think, like, I'm not saying some of our fans get it twisted, but like, when I say it looked just like the last however many games of last year, this is what I'm talking about. Yes. Was the defense better than it was at the end of last year? Certainly. And was special teams way better? Certainly. But the bottom line is, in another close game, there were plays to be made that could have determined the game and put UC a win in the win column that they didn't make. Yep. So in that regard, it looked the same. I mean, I don't know what the number is, 1-8, 2-8, 2-9 of the Scott Satterfield record in one-score games.
2-9.
You can tell me all you want that the defense, and I pointed out, like, yards per carry or yards per play, I thought they were good. I don't think you're ever going to get in the 3-3-5. I don't think you're just ever going to be like a real havoc team. Like, you just don't have enough you don't have enough bodies up against the line of scrimmage to make a ton of tackles for losses or sacks. But like, I felt like they got sufficient pressure. But speaking of, Marquise Parker whips his dude off the line of scrimmage. And yes, did he get bumped a little bit by the lineman coming back into the play? Sure. But 3rd and 9 or 3rd, whatever it was, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 9, can't get the quarterback down. The slow quarterback is able to run for 9 yards and get a first down and keep a drive going. Like, the defense liked a lot of what they did. And it's not fair to say, like, you got to get a stop on this drive or, blah, 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 it's your fault, you did terrible. But, like, for as much as we've bemoaned about the offense, it's 13-10. Get a stop.
Yeah.
They hadn't done much of anything. And then it's 13-10. You've got a bit of momentum back. If you get a stop there and score, you have all the momentum. And what do? They go right down the field and score.
Yeah.
So, like, part of me is still like, these are the same things that happened all the time last year. And it's not fair to say, like, defense, you've been on the field twice as long as the offense. You got to play almost perfect. I mean, you give up 20 points in a college game, don't get any turnovers, like, to give your offense a short field or anything. Like, that should still be enough. So, but you still have to go out there and, I'm sure Tyson Vite is like, we got him right where we want him, and then you give up a touchdown drive.
Yeah. And really, that was the only touchdown drive of the game they gave up. Like, the other one started at the 18-yard line or whatever, and the other they allowed 2 field goals and a touchdown drive from the 18.
And the one field goal was 52 yards, so it wasn't like they even really threatened the red zone.
Does UC give up more 50-yard field goals than any team you've ever seen?
I mean, college kickers are freaking terrible, and every time there's like a big long-distance kick from the other team, it's like automatic that they make it. Every time.
I can't remember I know there are some, but I can't remember the last time a guy missed an important 50-plus yarder since the Georgia game when that guy made the kick of his life.
Yeah. It seems
the
like
kick of his life. 54 yards, I think it was.
It seems that we do not have very good opposing kicker luck.
we on the other side, we have missed a lot of important kicks over the past couple of years. But yeah, I mean, it's what we talked about. Like I think we saw what we talked about through camp, Dave. This is a pretty talented team. It's not uber talented. They're not, 2020 Bearcats. I'm not even going to compare them to 2021. But, like, they're not 2020, 2019, 20. Like, they're not – it's not a bunch of NFL guys running around. But overall, the talent level has certainly elevated to a considerable Power 4 level. Like, they're a solid Power 4 football team. But until this stuff that we've just spent the last 40 minutes talking about is cleared up, that doesn't really matter.
No. Because
you have to make your own breaks. You have to create wins, especially when we get into what we're going to see in the Big 12, where everybody is pretty similar and the talent levels aren't striking one way or the other. And over and over again, you're going to be in these close games. And over again, we saw it last year. We're seeing it through one game this year. It just feels like didn't, instead of did. Didn't pick up the fumble. Right. Didn't get the pick six. Didn't read the safety dropping into cover 2 on that play and get to something else. Didn't do this. Didn't do that. And of course, that's what's going to happen when you lose, especially when you lose close games. But this team keeps losing close games. So we just continuously are going to be talking about the didn'ts because they haven't done enough dids.
Right. I mean, outside of going to Utah, I don't look at any Big 12 game and go, they just can't win that game.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll
reserve judgment on TCU because it's still Sonny Dykes.
Last game of the year. I mean, so much can still happen. Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to go down there and win. But, would it stun you? Probably not. But that's what I'm saying. Like, in this conference, there's a lot of good to, they're quite good. There's no really good. There's no steamrollers. But at the same time, and this is what you said, and I think I even put this on the board in one of the threads, is like, you are what you are until you aren't.
Yeah.
And right now, they are a program and a team that cannot, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, coaching, whatever, wherever you want to point the finger, they are a program that cannot make the key plays that separate winning from losing. So all the other stuff of the passing game isn't good enough, the play calling doesn't make sense sometimes, the defense is really good but didn't get a stop. It doesn't matter unless I don't care what the reason is. I've never cared what the reason is. You either win or you lose. But I don't need to dig into the analytics to see that this is actually better. And they actually went up 4 spots in SP Plus from last week. I don't give a shit. They still lost a close game because they didn't make the winning plays.
Yeah. You know what they are, Dave? This just hit me. They are the team that every opposing coach after the game gives Cincinnati credit, man. Those guys played hard.
Yep.
Give them they gave us some fits.
We just found a way to make a couple more plays.
Yeah. It's the same post-game press conference for the opposing coach on repeat.
I mean, there's a guy on Twitter, Parker Fleming, that does the "Did you get beat is bad that bad?" They should just rename it the Cincinnati Bearcats "Did you get beat that bad?" Weekly award. I mean, how many times last year, and then again Saturday or Thursday, all the numbers said you should have won, but you didn't.
Yeah. They played hard, Dave. Those guys, give Cincinnati credit. Those guys played hard. They made it really tough for us. I'm proud of my guys. We dug in there. We found a way to make some plays. We get the interception at the end. You know, we forced the turnover right before halftime to get us a touchdown. We were struggling on offense a little bit, but our defense found a way. Give those guys some credit, but our guys found a way to win. Our guys found a way to get it done. You don't want to. That's the last team on earth you want to be. You never want to be that team week after week after week. That sucks.
Yeah.
Give those guys credit, Dave. But our guys found a way to win.
And here comes Pudge the cat.
Real quick though, special teams. Luke Pascal, give that guy a raise. Boy, that was refreshing to watch again, wasn't it?
Yeah, there were a couple punts that they got a little too close for comfort on a couple of them, but
yeah.
Overall, I mean, leaps and bounds better than especially what we saw towards the end of the year. So I mean, the Gunners were gunning the 45.8, I think, on the punt average, made the one field goal. Like, what do we talk about? You don't have to be the reason we win the game, just don't be the reason we lose it.
Right. And I'll give their freshman kid from Australia credit. He had a couple great directional punts to the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
For a kid that had never really seen a college football game before, that was the first college football game he's ever seen. He impacted the game for them pretty well. I'll give him a little credit on that. And they made a freaking 52-yard field goal. That is Matt. I want to talk about that one for a brief second. Everybody's wondering why Matt Rule was losing his mind on the kickoff where Logan put his foot out of bounds and caught the ball. Rule was arguing his foot wasn't down yet.
Yeah.
It was razor thin.
Yeah.
Like, he almost caught that. I think it did get down right before he caught it, but he almost caught that before his foot was down, which would have been very, very bad. But I will give the special teams coaching credit, because you could see that was in it. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing. Get my foot down, catch the ball. That counts as the ball being out of bounds.
Yeah, that would have been a 2024 Bearcats special teams play.
Right. Where he was trying to make the smart play.
With one foot up in the air and one foot in bounds. And
and then he steps out and UC takes over at the 4-yard line.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. All right. You got anything else on Nebraska?
No.
All right. Let's timestamp it. Brought to you by Turtles Brew. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, gluten-free, 6% ABV. It's a bourbon-infused sweet tea. It is awesome for tailgating. So go get you some for Saturday. They've got cherry lime, raspberry peach, orange vanilla, lemonade tea, strawberry mint. You can find it in over 50 locations in Greater Cincinnati, more than 100 in Ohio. Just go to turtlesbrew.com for information and the location nearest you. All right, let's get it to Bowling Green, Dave. The Eddie George led Bowling Green Falcons come to Nippert Stadium. They have an awesome team mascot and Pudge the cat. They did not score a touchdown last week. They got a win.
They scored a touchdown.
They didn't score an offensive touchdown.
Yeah, they had a rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
They scored 2 touchdowns then. They took the opening kickoff back.
Yeah, because they had 26-7.
Yeah, okay. They scored 1 offensive touchdown.
Yes,
they kicked 4 field goals.
And
and they had a special teams touchdown. But
Lafayette, not good.
Not exactly an offensive juggernaut coming to town on Saturday. They do run the ball a lot. Ran the ball 40 plus times.
Yeah, I have a feeling that'll be the theme for them again. Shrink the game, run the ball.
I'll turn it over to you, Dave, and enlighten us, inform us. about the Bowling Green?
Yeah, so we always like to start with some metric comparisons. Obviously, it's early. These things, how much of last year is baked into these things. I don't even know how that would work with all the transfers, but SP Plus UC is 55th, BG is 109, K Ford UC is 47th, BG is 109 again, and then BCF Toys, which does FEI like efficiency, UC is 43rd. Bowling Green is 99th. To put that into perspective, Bill Conley at SP Plus for the last couple of years has done the entire college football world in SP Plus. So FBS, FCS, NAIA, Division II, Division III, they're all there. The Lafayette Leopards are 216th in SP Plus. So over 100 spots behind Bowling Green. So that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of talent they were bringing to the table. I looked at their game on paper, and both teams side by side in the, purple, white, green boxes. Both teams total of two green boxes. Bowling Green was green in third down success and havoc percentage at 16. So it was not a very good game especially from an offensive standpoint. Offensively, you mentioned they ran the ball a ton. Their long run, though, was only 14 yards. Their three main running backs carried it 34 times for 147 yards. It's only 4.3 carry. Like, against a bad FCS team, that's, to me, not really very good. Kadarius Roberts led them in yardage, 12 carries for 66 yards. Chris McMillan led them in carries, 14 carries for 46 yards. And then Cam Petaway had 8 for 35. He is the one that had the opening kickoff touchdown. Drew Pine, for you Bearcat fans.
Welcome back, Drew Pine.
Welcome back. Notre Dame, Arizona State, Missouri, now Bowling Green. 109 yards passing. 6.1 yards an attempt. No receiver had over 2 receptions. I mean, I'm not going to say you can just kind of do whatever you want defensively, but I find it hard to believe they're going to be able to run the ball with any efficiency against UC's front seven. Their line is big. Maybe I just haven't looked at MAC lines lately, and maybe they're all pretty big, but all of them were well over 300 pounds. So, to not be able to open holes to get any gains longer than 14 yards makes me wonder about the athletic ability of the line. I mean, maybe they're very much a straight ahead power running unit.
Yeah.
Defensively, they had 9 players had their first start. So very young, very green defensive unit. Dorian Pringle, linebacker, had a very good game. 10 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. They had 3 sacks and 8 tackles for loss. They have another linebacker transfer from Dayton. That's pretty good.
Like Ohio?
Yeah, like UD. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the position that UC has put themselves in. If they win 56-3, everyone's gonna go, yeah, no shit, you should have done that.
Yeah.
If they win 17-3, we got a different side of things to talk about.
Sure.
Neither one of them helps out the perception of this program.
No.
But I mean, I don't even know what to say about what I'm looking for out of the offense. I think I know what I'm going to get from the defense. Play good run defense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to shrink the clock. They play good special teams, clearly. They've returned the opening kickoff of the season 2 years in a row for a touchdown. I believe their special teams coordinator is the only coach that Eddie George kept on staff. So they're gonna. I mean, he talked about in his press conference today. I mean, that is a very important group. Coaches now seem to call it like the core four core special teams. If you're a guy on all four special teams unit, I mean, you talked about how those guys get to eat first. They get to. I mean, so it's a very important part of their program. So UC will have to be ready in those areas. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to fake punt or something to, steal momentum, steal field position, take advantage of a situation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, offensively, I don't even know what. I mean, I don't want to see him come out and try to be like, well, we got to establish the passing game, so we're just going to chuck it.
Right.
I guess I just want to see it. Use the running game to set up your passing game in better situations. Because I feel like you should be able to make some hay throwing the ball, regardless of what you do. But, use it as a way to build confidence.
Yeah.
Let's get those early, easy completions. And, run the ball to put you in great situations where you can run or pass. I mean, it feels like so much of the passing game against Nebraska, and maybe it was because they were, behind a score the whole game, but it just always felt a little bit forced and didn't flow off of the running game. It was disjointed. There was two different offenses, the running game offense and the passing game offense. It wasn't a cohesive, offensive system.
It was a struggle. And that's the biggest thing for me, Dave. I want to see some consistency, some not. We saw this a lot last year. First quarter good, second quarter bad, third quarter good, fourth quarter bad, right? I'm over that. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see, okay, we went out and we played 4 pretty good quarters of football.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And there's not a lot that's going to help me out until I see that.
No, and that's again, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this enough already, but to me personally, I want them to be successful, but that doesn't tell me anything about how the passing game is going to do against Kansas or Iowa State.
Yeah.
And that's the situation about the end of the year and the beginning of this year, is that they've put themselves in that type of a situation where you leave yourself open to that, where no matter what you do, it's kind of like, okay, let's see it when we do it against another team. And if you don't do it, then you're left really, really confounded and scratching your head of okay, it was bad. We spent all week fixing it. We went out against a team that we should be able to not do whatever we want to, but we should be able to pass the ball pretty easily. And then we couldn't. That is then 5-alarm fire. What is going on with every element of the passing game?
We've seen it work. Let's see it work again, because we haven't seen it work.
It's been a minute.
Since October of 2024. We're almost back. We're 11 months from that. That was 11 months ago. So let's see it work again. Gina, elephant question in the room that I have heard being asked. What is it? What's this elephant question in the room? Okay, there we go. You can't, Gina. yes, they did all they could to prepare for playing in a loud environment. I have heard people I trust, namely Dan Horde, say that was louder than when the Bengals played the Chiefs in Arrowhead for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, because probably because there was way more Bengals fans there than there were UC fans too. So
there is literally there is nothing you can do to prepare you for that. You can pump in crowd noise all you want. You can do anything and everything under the sun to check that box that we tried to get our guys ready. We had it loud.
Yeah, you just have to live with it and you have to overcome it. Did you see today Arizona State? I saw these clips on Twitter. They're going to Mississippi State. So they're trying to prepare for the cowbells.
And they showed cowbells?
No, they showed this poor girl. She's on the equipment staff or on some staff. I mean, she's like a college intern or whatever. And she's got like little white finger bells on like each, like 2 or 3 on each hand. And she's just like doing this. And people on Twitter are just like, oh yeah, that's certainly emulating what the cowbells at Mississippi State sound like. I felt bad for her. It's like, it's not her. She obviously isn't the one wanting to do that. Someone was like, here, just ring these bells. I'll practice.
Like Gina, it's a valid question. It's a good question. I'm not like underselling you the validity of that question. I'm just telling you there's genuinely nothing you can do to mimic that.
No,
like they're legitimately.
They had almost 73,000 people there, and I mean, I would say comfortably that 70,000 or more of them were Nebraska fans.
Yes,
and you probably got a little bit of a different Nebraska fan that maybe lives in Kansas City or closer to, that maybe goes to like
games.
One game in Lincoln a year, and now they get to go to the game there, and it's the opener, and it's on a Thursday night, and so you take, I mean, there's a lot to it. And all that said, yes, they had 4 false start penalties, but like it didn't look like they weren't calling timeouts because plays weren't coming in time, and it posed plenty of issues. But like, it's 2017. Like,
I do wonder. And this is something we'll have to keep an eye on because they're not going to play anywhere as that loud again this year. Utah will be really loud, obviously, but I do wonder how much, like, the silent count, going with the hand signals, like Joe Cotton talked about it with us yesterday, that because of the way you have to do that, like, it's very difficult for an offensive lineman, especially a tackle. You're going to be a half second late. Like the defensive end is going to get a head start on you.
Very easy for the defense after a little bit of time to get your silent down. And, they watch for a signal, and then they just know, like, they're going to snap it roughly a second after this.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to time the snap. The tackles are 10 yards roughly away from the quarterback. So, they're having trouble hearing if you're checking into a different play. They might have called a play in the huddle. But then if you're checking into a different play, Sorsby, we saw that plenty of times where Sorsby's running up to talk to this side, then this side, then he's turning around.
Cotton said, like, Sorsby had to come to him, like, personally and tell him every play.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can make your music as loud as you want it at practice. I mean, we've been at plenty of practices where we've laughed about how loud it is, but it's still not the same.
Yeah, that is deafening. Like, especially as somebody that's been on the field at Nippert for some of those games where it's just like you can't hear yourself think. There's really no way to replicate that. Unless you just want to blow everybody's eardrums out.
Yeah.
Like it's not something that can really be done. What's your score prediction, Dave, for Bowling Green?
I think it'll be on the lower scoring side just because of the way that I think they're going to try to, if they run the ball as much as I think they're going to run the ball, then even if you give up like one first down, it's still a 2, 3, potentially even 4-minute drive. Like they're not going to come out and throw the ball 3 times and have an 11-second drive.
Right.
So, UC got 10 possessions. I mean, really 9 possessions. One, it's technically they got 10, but I mean, it's probably going to be, again, unless you force some turnovers, you're probably looking at another or you have a lot of quick drives and score a bunch of points, but you're looking at another 10, 12, 14 drive type game. I'm going to say 38-10, just because I think the game will go quicker. If UC runs the ball effectively, if BG runs the ball and has even a modicum of success and their drives are, like I said, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then they punt, and then you've got to go 70 yards or something. I don't see them playing a style of offense that is going to give UC enough possessions to score an insane amount of points.
I think UC's run defense is good enough to keep that from happening.
It could be.
I do. I'm I'm thinking in the 40s. I think UC somewhere in the 40s.
Well, that would be a first. Outside against an FBS team.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say that laughingly, but no, it wouldn't. They didn't. Then they score 41 against Texas Tech.
Yeah, they did. So it'd be a second. It would be a second.
That would be a second.
I'm not sold that BG's defense is great.
Oh, I don't think it is. I'm totally making this on I think the possessions will
be low.
Will be lower because they're not going to just drop back and throw the ball a bunch and risk interceptions, risk incompletions, and handing the ball right back over to UC.
Yeah, I just feel confident enough that I thought that Nebraska O-line was pretty good, and I thought UC controlled the line of scrimmage against them. I think they will be better than that against Bowling Green.
They better be.
They better be, right? I think you're going to see a pretty good amount of, if not 3 and outs, five play Bowling Green drives, where I don't think they're going to be purposely in the first quarter snapping the ball with 3 seconds left on the play clock on 2nd and 6 from their own 27.
Right.
So I think UC does get into the 40s. Maybe not by mud, 40, 42, 40, 41, 42 to 10, maybe. And then I think we come back here next week and we look at each other and we go, that was nice.
Yeah, we get to recap that and preview Northwestern State.
And then
could be the fastest podcast, the fastest in-season podcast ever. Unless,
and then after that, we come out of Northwestern State into bye.
Yeah,
that might be a guest. We might have to start talking some basketball.
We already need to discuss who's filling in for me on the brunch on that Sunday morning, because maybe we'll let Austin shine during the bye week. Because I will not be here.
Where are you going to be?
Nashville.
Oh, all right. As long as you're actually going to be somewhere, instead of just I'm taking the week off.
No. No.
Yeah, I'll go 42 to 10.
So we're only different by 4 points.
Yeah, we're not that far off. Anything else UC related you want to get to? How about it coming out today that the Big 12 ADs and Brett Yormark had a conference call allegedly with Dave Portnoy And now Barstool is going to be involved in Big 12 related things, starting with Iowa State this week, potentially.
I mean, personally, I'm unmoved by it. They're not really my cup of tea, but outside of pizza reviews, I enjoyed those because I like pizza. But from the Big 12 standpoint, Fox is your largest media partner.
Yeah.
They have a show, Big Noon Kickoff, that I think they got. The Big Ten had, like, with counting like playoff games and conference champion, I think it ended up being like 10 Big 10 games last year and 6 Big 12 games. Like, you have a show that the show part of it I think is actually better than game day. They talk more football. But you have this competition. I don't look at them the same, but like you have the outsider in the Pat McAfee. Now you have your guy in Dave. Then again, to me, they're not the same. Pat played. He's been in that type of a world, like commentating / sports talky-ish show. But like, okay, so now you've got your guy. Why would you not try to, you're fighting the Big Ten, you're fighting the SEC for eyeballs, for recognition, for notoriety, for all those things. I mean, it's all about clicks. It's about, engagement. Like, and we've talked about Brett Yormark, like, the dude is an idea guy. We're not always going to like every one of them, but from the business standpoint of it and the Big 12 standpoint of it, absolutely. They should be doing something like that.
I mean, say what you will, and I am a Barstool guy. I have been since pretty much its inception back in the late 2000s, early 2010s. I thought it was funny. Like, they don't always. I
was a long time ago. I don't like.
I consume a lot less now.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they have this new show on Fox FS1. I think it maybe even started this morning. I knew one of the 4 people on the panel. Yeah. And the one I do know is a Mississippi State fan who I don't think knows anything about college football. So, like, I don't consume much of the overall Barstool platform anymore. But, like, you are in business with Fox. He now and Barstool now are in business with Fox. Why would you not do something like that?
Yeah. Reach out and say, hey, we want you to also be in the Big 12 business.
Yeah.
Because Dave's a Big 10 guy. He went to Michigan. Like, if you've been living under a rock.
Right.
He walked out in Columbus singing Hail to the Victors to the Ohio State crowd, largely because he had been banned from Ohio Stadium. He draws eyeballs. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, whatever it is, the guy knows how to get people talking. He's always had that ability. Sure. Bring him in. Let's see. They're going to have to hire some Big 12 people because they really don't have anybody that I know of that's like a Big 12 analyst. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll apply to be Barstool's Big 12 guy.
Joel Klatt is kind of their Big 12 guy, but he's not on he calls the games. He's not on the morning show.
Right.
Yeah, you've got Mark Ingram, SEC, Urban Meyer, SEC.
Well, I just mean Barstool in general, Barstool. Not just the show. Like, Barstool's content doesn't really have anybody from Texas or, in the Big 12 kind of imprint. Mm-hmm. So they'll probably have to do something along those lines. I'll bite the bullet. I'll run BCJ and I'll be the Big 12 guy at Barstool because I don't do enough on-air content. Already as it is. Maybe I know a couple people over there. Maybe I'll shoot a resume across and I'll be the Barstool Big 12 guy. I don't know if that'll work with my 24/7 contract, but it is what it is.
Probably not.
Probably not, being that we're CBS. I don't think they'll take too kindly to that. But exposure, right? Do we want exposure or not?
That's the thing. You can't be like, we need exposure. We hate the Big Ten and the SEC because they control everything, and we need exposure. We need eyeballs, but not that kind of exposure.
Right. Not like that. Not like that. Let's get to I guess the do you have a 6-pack ready for us for week 2?
I keep forgetting. This is probably a terrible week overall of games. Let me look at it real quick. I mean, Tennessee's playing East Tennessee State. UC's playing Bowling Green. We'll start. We'll do. Yeah, okay. I can make this work a little bit. The noon slate is actually pretty good.
Cyhawk, right? Cyhawk at noon.
We'll get to that one. I'm going to start Illinois at Duke. Everybody is looking at Illinois as like Indiana 2025. Quarterback is back. A lot of talent. Seems like they have a pretty manageable Big 10 schedule. Saturday noon, ESPN Duke. Darian Mensah, Tulane transfer quarterback. If Illinois wants to be Indiana 2024, I think they have to win this game, because I think Duke is okay, but I think the ACC is going to be a little bit. The ACC's actually got some. Seems like it. We'll see. If Florida State and Miami are actually good, Clemson, Louisville, I think is pretty good this year. So you got that one. Then you have Cyhawk, Fox, noon, Iowa at Iowa State. Iowa's offense was dreadful last week against an FCS team with a quarterback that everybody was very excited for them to bring in from South Dakota State. Iowa State looks good. This will be their first, I shouldn't say first. Kansas State was obviously their first test, but at home, chance to go 3-0, beat one of your biggest rivals. That'll be a fun one. Baylor at SMU. 12 o'clock Saturday. Guess the TV channel.
TNT.
Nope.
Peacock streaming. Nope. I don't fucking know.
The CW.
Oh, it's ACC. Yeah, so the CW. That's right.
So
I was thinking Big 12 networks.
SMU 1-0, ranked 17th. Kevin Jennings at quarterback. They've portaled the heck out of their roster. Are they in the running again for the playoff? Baylor, I wasn't surprised they lost to Auburn. I was surprised at how bad the run defense was. All the conversation coming into the year was the pass defense that was going to be terrible, or that was terrible last year. Was it going to be better? Auburn's got good running backs, portaled in some really good linemen, but they just ran it all over them. So how does much more running quarterback in Kevin Jennings than Jackson Arnold? Do they get that fixed on the road? I don't know if I'd call it a rivalry, but it's an interstate thing. If Baylor starts 0-2 without even Big 12 play starting, where does that sit? I love so much about their offense. I mean, we talked about the big three: Sawyer Robertson, Josh Cameron, and the running back's name is escaping me. But they have a tight end / wide receiver, Michael Trigg. He had 16 targets against Auburn.
Right.
They brought in another wide receiver transfer from Texas State. The offense could be really good, but if they can't stop anybody, whether it's running or passing, then they're going to be in trouble. Let me see. Going through here, there's not. Oh, man.
It's noon, and then take the rest of your Saturday off.
Yeah.
You can go to the UC game. You watch noon at the tailgate, then you go into the game, and you're not going to miss much.
I guess I'm going all the way down to 7:30 ABC Michigan at Oklahoma. It's a helmet game. I'm not sure how good either team is. But it's a night game, and there's not a lot of other options that are really grabbing me by the short hairs. We'll take another dip through here. Here's a sneaky one for you. West Virginia at OU.
The line is pretty tight on that one, isn't it?
3.5, West Virginia. Parker Navarro, really good quarterback. And I'm not even going to say MAC quarterback. Like, good quarterback. They were down 31-7 at Rutgers in the opener and tied it up at 31. Lost on a late field goal. But that's a sneaky game. Kansas, Missouri. Missouri's got a lot of talent. They have to replace a lot of talent. New quarterback. Kansas, Jalen Daniels back. They're off to a 2-0 start. That one's a 3:30 ESPN2 game.
I've liked Kansas so far.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Other than
their offense looks hard to decipher again.
Other than that, I don't even know if I'm going to get to 6. That was at 5.
I think that was 5.
There's not Ole Miss being only a 10-point favorite over Kentucky. I'm wondering what I'm missing there.
Don't they always play close? I thought I saw something like every year. Those games are like last second.
They beat them at Ole Miss last year.
Yeah,
played it like a fourth and forever. It felt like completed a huge pass play, but I mean, your 3:30 CBS game is Oklahoma State at Oregon. Oregon's a 28.5 point favorite.
Have you seen the back and forth there?
Yeah.
Where Gundy's like, they buy their players. And Lanning's like, you're damn right we do. We're trying to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's legal now. We're allowed to do that. We bought a very good roster. We would like to win football games and not go 0-9 in our conference.
Here's for the ultimate sickos. We got 2 10-15 games.
Okay.
There's an 11 p.m. game on Big Ten Network.
Oh, God.
And then if you're really up for it, which I still might be, Sam Houston State at Hawaii, midnight, Mountain West Network, which I think is on Amazon Prime.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That means you're committing to 3 a.m.
Yeah, if you watch the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're gambling, you're pot committed to 3 a.m. minimum. Maybe 3:30, 4 a.m.
Oh, no, you just go to bed and see if you won or lost. You don't need to stay up to watch that. I did want to say this is because now there are Big 12 games on TNT.
Yeah.
They have this new show kicking off tonight, actually right now, kind of an inside the conference. I think tonight's episode is about Arizona. I watched some of the Arizona-Hawaii game. I got to give it to TNT. Their score bug is damn near perfect. It is thin across the bottom. Like, it's very good. And
kudos to that guy.
Mike Golick Jr. was on the call. Maybe we'll get the Bearcats. Maybe we'll get the Bearcats on a TNT game, and Mike will be in Cincinnati and eat 9,000 pints of Graters and
acknowledge the fact that one of the Golicks did play at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They act like that never happened, the Golick family. That is not a part of Golick family lore. The 1 year that Jake spent, he caught 1 touchdown pass against UConn. That was the height of the Golick experience. It did. I got to hang out with Golick not a lot, but like a decent amount giving him like food suggestions and things in and around Cincinnati that he needed to check out when he would fly in, watch practice, go to a game, whatever. But nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like a nice. I mean, I my time with him was pleasant. But yeah, you got anything else?
I don't think so.
Hopefully,
do you have anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so. I think basketball practice starts here officially in a week or two. I don't know the exact date, but we're getting. Oh, the non-conference is out, Dave.
Oh yeah,
the basketball non-conference is out. We've known this for a long time, so it's not anything kind of new here. But 5, games of note: Dayton at Fifth Third Arena, Louisville neutral at US Bank, Xavier at Xavier, Georgia in Atlanta, Clemson in Greenville, South Carolina. The rest bye games. Not, I know everybody gets caught up in the metrics. There's 3 decent bye teams on here, 3 teams that made the NCAA tournament. There's 5 teams that are bad. I know it's always everybody's favorite talking point around this time of the year is discussing the quality of the bye games. Again, you're in the Big 12. I don't care. What you do in the Big 12 determines your fate at this level. I think as long as you've got 5 or 6 quality, high major type games, I think you're fine. You're going to get, 14, 15 of those type games in the Big 12. So you're going to be at 19, 20, 21 high major games. That's plenty. Like if you're trying to make the NCAA tournament and you can't make your case with 20 high major games, you don't belong in the NCAA tournament to begin with. I'm okay with it. It's fine. I'm not wowed by it. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine.
Yeah, what you said. Wake me up when January hits.
Will that pick up this fall in top targets? I don't even know, Matt. I don't think anybody generally cares about high school basketball recruiting anymore. I know Wes was out to see Chris Washington today, who's a wing forward type guy that's down in Tennessee. Cincinnati's been on him for a long time. He's been here for multiple visits. Today was the first day that coaches could go out for the fall evaluation period. The first person they went to see was Chris Washington. That tells me he is absolutely a priority. I think he's visiting in a couple weeks. There's just not the type of excitement there's been in the past for high school recruiting. I don't think there's a lot of juice around it unless you've got, a top 25, 30 guy that you're dialed in on and you're working hard to land. I think Cincinnati's in on a bunch of guys in that like 40 to 80 range. Not a bunch, but the guys that they're in on are in that 40 to 80 range. They've got visits, set up or being set up. As they happen, we'll keep you updated, but I don't know. Especially, I think you're looking at a lot of turnover again, probably after this year. Unless you're stocked, I just don't know how much appetite there is for high school recruiting because you're going to have to go into the portal and get 5, 6 guys that can play in the Big 12 night in and night out. So I hate it. I love AAU ball. I love high school basketball recruiting. I spent a lot of time in that world as I came up in this business. I just don't get the sense that it's, unless you're Duke and Kentucky and, some of the ones that feed at the top of the food chain, I don't think you can confidently recruit from 30 to 80 guys that you feel like are going to come in and contribute immediately in the Big 12. So then even if you land them, everybody was excited about Tyler Betsy last year, and he's at Syracuse. because he wasn't good enough to get regular minutes in the Big 12. And generally, these guys think they're coming in and they're going to be one and done and they're going to go straight to the NBA. And they come here and they struggle and they get frustrated and they leave. So
I like that even though there's a litany of empirical evidence that doesn't happen, I like that has yet to change the mindset that is gonna happen.
The guys from 30 to 80 are gonna come in and be heavy impact guys.
And be one and done. And be one and done. It's like
I talked a couple weeks ago on the BBP about Abaya that I like him. I think he is a really gifted, skilled offensive player. I think he's going to help this team at times this year. I think he's going to look awesome at times in that non-conference that we just showed. But I don't know what he is in the Big 12. I don't know if he's strong enough for the Big 12 yet. I'm sure Mike Rayfeld is getting him considerably stronger than he was in high school, but I can't say with any confidence that I think he's going to be a 10, 11, 12-point a game guy as a freshman. If he is, awesome, because guess what, Dave? I think it's going to be a team that needs some pop offensively. And hopefully he can provide it. But I'm not confident in that. I'm not sitting here and getting people hyped up that Abayev is going to be like the answer offensively for Cincinnati, because when he falls flat on his face at times, and there's games where he has 4 points, everybody's going to come back to me and go, Chad, you told us. And no, I didn't. I told you it's going to be up and down, and there's going to be some good nights and there's going to be some bad nights. And and he's at the top of that range. He's in that 20 to 30 range and not 30 to 80. So I don't know, Matt. It's just different now. All right. That's it for me. I don't think Dave's got any more. We are going to wrap it up, and we will see everybody Saturday. We didn't do the Simone tailgate because you're not going, Dave.
I'm not. I think they're having sliders of some sort.
I am going to try to stop by, but it is Kelsey's homecoming. I don't know what exactly my time schedule looks like, but tell them not to be upset if they don't see me.
I will.
That's going to do it. We will see you next time to talk about hopefully a win over Bowling Green and prepare you for the Northwest East new whatever
Delta Devils.
Delta Devils. That's the BCJ podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, live from the Cincy Light studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.